Welcome back to the halftime show on the PAC Sports Network, and we're joined now by Grove City head coach Steve Lamie. Coach, always a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time here at the half.
Yeah, my pleasure, Randy. Thank you.
Now, Grove City today for our broadcast, visiting the Bethany Bison. As we said, we are at the half. Coming into this game today, Grove City 3-3 overall, 0-2 in the PAC, losses to Franciscan and a loss on Wednesday night to Waynesburg. Obviously, very early in the season, but give us your take, your thoughts on the team thus far through the first 6 games.
Yeah, we're kind of happy with where we're at. It's a young team, and I know we're playing almost 13 guys in the rotation, but 5 or 6 of them, well, 6 are freshmen. So there's a learning curve there. And I would also say we have a couple sophomores in the lineup. And with last year, now we played 12 games, but some of those sophomores did get into the lineup, but it wasn't right away. So they also have some learning to do. So it's a young team. Although I'm really pleased with our leadership, and we have 3 seniors that are doing a great job, and then Josh Bryan, who's a junior, is also part of the leadership team. So defensively, I think we're playing well. We're rebounding the ball well. Our sticking point has been 2 things. One is our shooting, which we're trying to overcome with good rebounding, and the other is our turnovers. And part of that is just being young and not making good decisions with the basketball. So if we can clean up that, and I think we will as we get more experience with our younger players, we'll be competitive. It's not as if we're not competitive now, but it's hard to overcome like 20 turnovers a game when you're not shooting the ball well. So those are the 2 things that we're kind of focusing on. Although we're not making a big deal about shooting. I mean, we're doing a lot in practice, but we're not going to put added pressure on our guys. We're just saying, hey, if you're open, you take the shot. If that's a shot that you work on in practice, then you have the green light to shoot it in a game.
Now, looking at, you mentioned your senior leadership, and a player who's off to a great start this year is Ben Rose, leads the team in scoring and rebounding thus far. A contributor off the bench last season. What's led to Ben's tremendous start this year?
Yeah. He was a really good player last year, but he was playing behind a really, really good player last year in Justice Rice. So we knew his capabilities. In fact, we were thinking about starting both of them, but at the time we really didn't have a backup point guard. So we're not surprised. I know that he's playing with a lot of confidence, and I think he was playing that way last year, but now he has a little bit more freedom. He's playing more minutes, and I think it's you're seeing the results of just hard work and a lot of confidence, and a guy who has good skills.
And along with Rose, Josh Brown and guard Isaac Thrasher round out the 3-man senior class. What do those 3 players give your team from a leadership standpoint?
They are all on board with how we play, and they all have experience in the ways we do things. And all 3 of them have a lot of respect from our underclassmen. But they've earned that because they do the little things. I'll give you examples. Like there are times in practice where I'm about ready to say something to a younger player, and then Josh Brown, he's already said it. Or I'm about ready to talk to the team in mass, and Isaac Thrasher says something that I was just about ready to say. So it's nice that they're thinking like I'm thinking, right? And those are guys that they're great servant leaders, and so they don't believe in a pecking order where, hey, I'm a senior, so I get certain rights and privileges. It's just the opposite. They serve sacrificially, and I think that's why they're so well respected. And I think everyone respects them because they do things right. If they call out an underclassman because they're not hustling, or maybe they're not blocking out right, or they're not doing a certain technique right, they have credibility because they're always doing the right thing. And that really helps. And I'm really pleased and proud. And uh, it's a good leadership group with those three seniors.
Now, you mentioned earlier, this is a relatively young team. You talked about the leadership of the three seniors, but one of the newcomers who's really made a splash already, 6'9" freshman, Christian Wiseman, currently the PAC Rookie of the Week for this week. And after back-to-back double-digit performances for him last week, what kind of impact do you hope that Wiseman has for your team this season?
He is already being an impact player at our center position. He's backing up Josh Brown. And Josh, it's nice because Josh has taken him under the wing. And Christian he didn't get a lot of playing time, interestingly, in high school because the system that they ran was really a dribble drive. And so, that's not, he's 6'9", he's big. So that was not his skill set. But in our flex offense, he can thrive in it. But he's very coachable. And what I like is when they came up for the visit, he and his father were just really into how we played, and his dad played college basketball and also as a coach. So even before he committed to us, and then after he committed to us but wasn't on campus, he was able to work on those techniques which he saw us do while he was watching us watch film. And so it's neat. He came here ready to play our style because he bought into it. So and he's getting better, really day by day. He's making his mistakes, but he learns. He's humble. It's so much of learning, I think, is just being humble and taking instruction and then going out and trying something new or something that the coach or your upperclassmen are telling you that's really going to work, but you've never had the opportunity to try. So yeah, it's humility and faith, I would think. Faith in that. Hey, these techniques really work. I think I'll try it.
And Wiseman certainly fits the mold of the great Grove City big men that have been a part of Wolverines basketball over the years. I know a couple of guys, Andrew Beckman and James Wells, come to mind right
Yes.
off the bat for me. But this year's team no different. And along with Christian, you mentioned Brown, also Elijah White, Sam Schudel, John Weir. You can add to that mix. How well do the Grove City big men mix so well? How do they mix so well together? And what's led to their success continually year after year?
They know that the system that we run is friendly to long, lean, and lanky players. We'd love to have them 6'6" and mobile because we also switch everything on defense. And they also know that we're going to be playing. Well, we'll start three of them and probably back them up with three other guys. And in some instances, we use the backup to the backup. So in some cases, we'll play 8 big players. And when I say big, they're hopefully 6'6". Some are a little bit shorter than that, like John Weir and Chris Brooks. But they got a home here, and they fit our system, and they have inside skills, but they can shoot from the perimeter at least till 15 feet, and they love to rebound, and that's really how we've kind of built this program on those things: defense and rebounding.
And as far as the youngsters, we talked about Wiseman as a freshman. Another exciting freshman is Ben Cano. He was a 1,000-point scorer at Greenville High School. His older sister, Nina, obviously on the Grove City women's team as well. What does he add to the lineup?
Ben is he was a very good high school player, and he's already a good college player, even though he only has 6 games under his belt. But and he's an interesting learner. Like, he needs to see it, he needs to digest it, he needs to have it simmer in his mind, and then once he gets it, he gets it. And I was watching film with him just the other day of the Waynesburg game. I'm sorry, of the Houghton game that we played prior to Waynesburg. And if I would grade him, it would be like an A, not an A plus, but an A. And that's pretty hard and that would have been his 5th college game. And that's because he's coachable. He understands the system. and he just tries to go out there and do it. And then he has his own innate skills, which he adds. He has some scoring ability, not only on the outside, but on the inside. So he's an inside-outside player, and that's what we like.
Now, entering the week, Grove City ranked third in the country in rebounding margin, a plus 18 in the rebounding department. How important will the ability to dominate the paint be for this year's Grove City team?
Well, if we're not going to shoot the ball well, we better rebound. I would say that. So it's paramount. We know that. And not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side. So, we do, and that's another reason why we play tall players and bigger players, and so that we can get more rebounds than our opponents. It's like axiomatic. We have to do that in order to be successful. But I would also say that our guards, buy into that too. It's just not a big man thing. It's hopefully it's a part of the mindset that we're trying to bring every night.
Coach Steve Lamie of the Grove City Wolverines, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time and taking the time today. And good luck to you and your team in the future.
Thank you, Randy.
We'll have more coming up in just a moment, the second half of today's game, when we come back right after this.